Last time on the Polar Sea, Richard Tegner has hitched a ride on the Russian cruise ship Akademik Yoffe to Cambridge Bay in the middle of the Northwest Passage. This is the crossroads of the Arctic where strangers meet. Here, Inuit elders still cross paths with the ancient race their ancestors displaced. And here, the Stone Age ways of the Inuit are crossed with the Space Age to create a new hybrid culture of the global village. As the Yoffe steams away, Richard finds himself alone again in a surreal landscape.
Little scary. I must admit I'm a bit, how do you say, nervous. I'm expecting a catamaran from Switzerland coming here to Cambridge Bay. Hopefully they can take me along, going westward all the way to Dutch Harbor. But first of all, I have to meet the crew and the captain and talk things over, because I don't know them, I don't know the water, the weather, the boat, so everything is unknown to me. A little nervous, but it seems to be a very good boat and lots of space, but we'll see.
More than 30 yachts attempted the Northwest Passage this summer. A few broke down. A few had to be rescued. Several turned back or gave up and beached their boats in Arctic villages. As the season closes, a few boats are still racing through the passage. The Austrian boat Belle Epoque, the Canadian yacht Traversée 3, the American ship Impericus, and from Switzerland, Le Belleul, the catamaran that Richard Tegner has contacted and hopes to hitch a ride on. Aboard Le Belleul, the family of Philippe Courtier have come to summer's end. Marielle will depart from here to bring her daughters Anissa, Lina, and Naima back to school.
Es ist sehr schön, auf so einem Segelboot gemeinsam mit der Familie so eine Reise, so eine Expedition machen zu können. Und abgesehen von ein paar Frostbeulen hat das Ganze eigentlich sehr gut geklappt. Und ich bin sehr stolz auf meine Familie und dass wir das so hinkriegen konnten.
Also mir hat die Reise sehr gut gefallen. Also es hat ziemlich viele Sachen, die mir gefallen haben.
Ich hätte gerne die 3 Wale gehabt, die sehr, sehr nahe vom Boot waren. Die haben mich ziemlich erstaunt, bis sie da so rumgeschwommen sind.
Ich glaube auf mein kuscheliges Bett.
As he waits for a ride, the hitchhiker Richard Tegner explores the tundra around Cambridge Bay.
In this environment, you have a lot of time to think and reflect over what you have done and what you're doing and how you behave to other people. You never have time in daily life to really deeply reflect on who you are and why you're doing things. You just do it and you're all stressed up with your work and daily routines. This silence also in this fantastic landscape, it sort of gives you peace to enjoy your own thoughts.
His distant companions are the rare and unique muskox. They are the great survivors of the Arctic. 200,000 years ago, Cambridge Bay is on Victoria Island in the most southerly part of the Northwest Passage. Here, the warm wave spreading over the Arctic is visible. In the last 30 years, green plants have moved 500 kilometers north. On Victoria Island, greenery has been increasing by 10% every decade. That should be good for ruminants like muskox, but it's not.
The fact that the population around Cambridge Bay at least seems to have declined quite substantially is a major issue for this community.
Susan Coots is a veterinarian.
Temperatures just weren't adequate on Victoria Island. People, for a number of reasons. First and foremost, they're part of their culture. Going out muskox hunting, caribou hunting is part of the Inuit culture. They've depended on these animals for thousands of years, and having access to those for food, for cultural activities is really, really important.
The researchers work with village elders to survey muskox and estimate how many can be sustainably hunted. The results are not encouraging.
Guys, can you just make sure that you look in the window and count them?
We basically just at the start of the survey, and we cannot make any prediction. It's really hard to see how it's gonna go, but the hunter have a hard time to find the muskox around Cambridge Bay. They have to go farther and farther inland. So of course they might just have moved north, or the population might deplete it. So that's what we're here for, to answer all those questions.
Right now we didn't see any muskox, and we're about 3/4 of the way. We're at 70 degree north.
There used to be muskox around Cambridge Bay, but now they don't see many anymore. So by knowing a little bit more where they are now, we could work with the community to try to bring them back if possible, to change maybe our action or behavior to actually have muskox again around Cambridge Bay.
She's part of a new generation of young scientists drawn to the warming north, intrigued by its changes and compelled by its beauty.
My first time in the north was a very exclusive and bonding experience. And after my first week, that was it. I needed to be above the Arctic Circle. The serenity, the whiteness, the challenge, the environment, it was very special to me, and I think I find my home.
I've been working in the north since 1988, I guess. I fell in love with it the first time I came north. Canada is incredibly lucky to have this spectacular landscape up here. The landscape, the people, the animals, the freedom. It's gorgeous. And what else can I say?
I think the Arctic gets under your skin. It pours into you and you get all overwhelmed by it. Many people look at this as an uncomfortable trip, and most people don't like to be uncomfortable. But maybe a few of my friends would like to do it, but actually quite few, I think. The most frightening moment was when I had to decide whether I should enter the Libelul. What do they expect of me? I don't know them, they don't know me, and anything could happen.
Hey, Richard. Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Long time no see.
Yes. Have you had a rough sail here?
The last 2 days were okay. The ice before was very tough, much tougher than we expected.
I felt so sorry for you. I watched you from the deck. You were stuck at the ice edge outside Bella Strait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw us.
Yes.
Yeah. You were on Academic Yacht.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
It's funny how pieces connect. You know, our engine breaking down and you coming up here a little bit late.
What about your two friends?
Well, I haven't spoke to them actually. I've heard from the second source and I've tried to get in mail contact, but the engine broke down totally.
So how was that cruise ship? Must have been incredible.
Yes, that was quite some contrast to a dumb, small boat with a grumpy old man. And joining this cruise ship.
But I hope you enjoy the warmth, you know, on this boat, because on our boat you will be freezing.
Yes.
I hope you have lots of clothes.
Yes. I couldn't know how it would be, so I was a bit hesitating whether I would jump on this or not, because, you know, obviously wealthy people having afford to have a crew and a wonderful boat like this, and that's also contrast from the little Dax.
Wir sind zu 7 hier angekommen und heute gibt es einen Crewwechsel, weil meine Familie, also die Girls, die müssen in die Schule. Und das heißt, sie werden heute rausfliegen nach Shanghai, nach Shanghai umziehen.
Philippe and professional sailors Yves and Sylvain will be joined by Philippe's uncle Michael, who has flown here to meet them. They hope to set a new record for the Northwest Passage.
Das ist ja ein Katamaran, das ist ein Cruising-Katamaran, der erste Katamaran, der durch die Nordwestpassage fährt. Also unsere Reaktion war, dass there is no climate change, es gibt keinen Klimawechsel, zumindest nicht in diesem Jahr. Die Konditionen hier, die waren sehr schwierig. Also das Eis, wir hatten mehr Eis als Amundsen 1903. Wir hatten wahrscheinlich ähnlich viel Eis wie Franklin 1845. Weiß man nicht, ob das ein statistischer Ausrutscher ist oder ob es, was weiß ich, in 1, 2, 3 Jahren wieder wärmer werden wird. Wahrscheinlich wird es nächstes Jahr auch noch ein schwieriges Jahr geben, weil jetzt viel von dem alten Eis bleibt. Die Leute hier sagen uns alle, dass sie Klimawechsel natürlich toll finden. Ich denke, für die Leute hier wäre es sicher gut, mehr Handel zu haben, mehr Durchgangsverkehr, eine richtige lokale Wirtschaft etablieren zu können, damit die nicht ständig vom Staat abhängen. Ich denke, es ist wieder eine sehr eurozentrische Sicht, dass wir denken, Klimawechsel ist für alle schlecht. Also für die Leute hier wäre es sicher gut. Natürlich sagt der andere Teil in mir, mein Herz sagt mir, es wäre schön, wenn alles intakt bleiben würde und das wie ein Museum jetzt noch 1000 Jahre erhalten bleiben könnte.
The Eskimo is a nomad hunter, constantly on the move in search of food. Food for himself, his family, and his dogs. Without dogs, he could not travel, and to the extent that he must travel to find food, his life depends on his dog team. As young pups, they lead a carefree life, playing with each other or with the children.
Hunting is still required for survival here. Some hunters still use dog teams, but now, as climate change kills off animals, hunting is getting harder. As goes the hunting, so go the sled dogs.
One of the only ways to control dogs has been to go and shoot them. If there's too many dogs, there has been no other option, so they've had to be shot. People in the community don't like that. You know, they hate to see that happening. Is it good?
It's so precise, it's wonderful, thank you.
We are doing vet clinics. This is the first time this town has had vets here for the last, since about 3 years ago. Been incredibly busy. There's a lot of dogs here, and we're having a great time. Okay, let's just bring Bessie in first. Leave Ella outside.
Hey, bring her in. Where do you want?
Okay. How are you this morning? Most of what we're doing here is spays and neuters. We really want to help these animals out, help the town out by reducing the population of animals. So 95% of what we do is that.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Na 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 na. You look up just a little more. Definitely down.
I think a lot of these communities are in transition. Dogs used to be working animals. They pulled sleds, they packed food, they were part of everyday life, and they were essential for everyday life. I think what we're seeing now is dogs are becoming more pets. People are bonding with them a little bit more.
You're okay. We don't let them sleep outside, we sleep them in. They're really good pets, they're nice to have, and they're really friendly.
Before we came here, people had not access to veterinary health care. So animals would not be sterilized, they would not be spayed or neutered, they wouldn't be vaccinated. So there would be a lot more disease that would be rampant in the community.
Good.
She likes her food, she likes to eat, doesn't she?
She loves it. She's my queen.
Okay.
For just one time, I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin, reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wide and savage, and make the Northwest Passage to the sea.
The plan is to start in Cambridge Bay, obviously, and then head through these quite narrow straits or gulfs, which are very shallow, so we'll have to be prudent with rocks and all that. Coronation Gulf, Dolphin Gulf, Amundsen Gulf, very famous. We'll need the electronic charts quite a bit, and hard copy charts. And then we'll reach Cape Bathurst, where there's still a lot of ice, as you probably saw on the ice chart. Yes. So we'll have to be careful, see how we get through there. We might have to hang out a couple of days here to wait for some easterly winds to push it away. And then we'll hopefully stop over in Tuktoyaktuk. And after that, it's going to be a very, very long and boring stretch 5 to 7 days of quite rough sailing along the Alaskan coast and around Barrow. We'll do that in one stretch as quickly as possible to get out of the waves and winds, and especially the sea ice, which is expected to be quite early this year again.
How far is this stretch from Tuktoyaktuk to Barrow?
It's like 700 miles.
Okay.
So it's quite long. It's day and night sailing.
Yes.
At least 5 days. Depending on winds.
I'm more than happy if I can get along and get to Nome or Tuktoyaktuk or even Dutch Harbor. That's far beyond my expectations to do it in this way. So I'm really happy that we have established contact. Since you picked me up here, I might want to know what your expectations are on me on board this wonderful vessel.
Yeah, washing the toilets every morning. And
Okay. I'll do that. What else?
Because we 5 will share all the work, so everyone is equal. This means cooking, cleaning, the usual shifts. The unfortunate news is that the autopilot doesn't work very well in these waters. The reason being that the magnetic North Pole is quite close. And so the compass needle just goes crazy. So some directions work quite well, so you can use the autopilot, but a lot of the time we have to steer manually.
Yes, and we have the GPS system on the chart.
Everything on the screen. You have everything here. We have all the ropes, the sheets, the halyards, everything. So it's quite convenient, but it's work in these temperatures.
Very often in my life I have been avoiding situations because I've been afraid, and I said no, I won't. I will go on. It will be fine. It will be a good thing, I think.
For just one time.
It's a nice cabin, isn't it? I have a skylight, and I have, if you come closer here, I have an exit. So, you see, I can jump in the water whenever I want to. And the toilet and shower. There's a heater inside here, so you can put on the heater to dry gear. That's got wet. Here we have the store, food store. French delicacy, cassoulet au canard. Yes, duck. So this is my first day on the catamaran Libeluja. I feel really comfortable, and I hope the feeling will continue. So, first day, very good.
They're heading west along the coast of the Yukon.
Well, here we are heading for Herschel Island.
They are sailing in waters that were first explored by the whalers of the 19th century. Exploiting a resource boom in bowhead whales. The bowheads were hunted for their plastic-like baleen and for their oil. In the last 50 years of whaling, 18,000 died. They might have disappeared, but for the discovery of fossil fuels, which made the industry obsolete. Herschel Island was the hub of the whale trade. At its peak, 1,000 whalers wintered here.
I like that saying, waves upon a shore, where a wave comes in with a new story and goes back and leaves a history. In the 1890s, the American whalers came into the area, and that played a real big change in the Inuvialuit lifestyle here. They had to adapt to the needs of European people, and they learned their ways and forgot who they were as Aboriginal people. So Herschel Island holds all that.
Richard Gordon is Inuvialuit, the Inuit of the Western Canadian Arctic.
Growing up myself, I didn't really pay attention to who I was as an Inuvialuit. What opened me up was when I made the trip to Herschel Island, traveling with the elders. To hear those stories, it opened me up to saying that I am an Inuvialuit, and I should be proud to be an Inuvialuit because it was our elders and their parents before them and their great-grandparents that fought to protect the land as best they can. It's not just about protecting an island or anything like that. It's protecting the value of who we are as human beings and a responsibility that we have, no matter where we are in the circumpolar region. And if you look behind, you can see that history. You have windbreakers, where our elders and them were raised in these kind of protection. And then when the whalers and traders came, you got houses that you have to live in. And now you have a tent here representing researchers.
Herschel Island consists mainly of loose material like sand, and it has risen above the general level due to thawing and freezing, building up a structure. And you could see visible signs that the permafrost is not so consistent any longer. There was big signs of erosion along the shore. Very clear signs of climate change, definitely.
Each year, the vegetation spreads.
So out here, we are looking at how the plants are responding to climate change. One of the cool things about this area is there's a long human history. You've got these graves here, and they've been here for almost 100 years, and there's also photographs of the graves, so it gives us this really unique opportunity to come back and take the same photographs and look at the plants growing in these photographs and see if things have changed. A little bit more of that, and then we got that one guy there. And then we want to go as far as the one with the cross on it. So there's a bunch of things going on. One of the things is the growing seasons are getting longer, so that means that the plants have a lot more chance to grow. 58.
So it's...
You also have a deepening of the active layer, the part of the soil that is unfrozen in the summertime. And when that gets deeper, the different plants can grow their roots deeper and access different nutrient pools, and so potentially grow more. Okay, one last one here. That's good. Got it.
far are we? 340 meters.
Each year, they find more carbon-rich sediment from the island when they dredge offshore.
We're trying to answer where the carbon and the sediment is moving and where it is going ultimately once it's eroded from the coast. The sediment is there and it had to come from somewhere, and the most obvious place is here because we see eroding cliffs and thawing permafrost and huge thermo-erosional features. Add shell fragments to that. Okay.
The work is dirty and uncomfortable, but the young researchers are driven by a belief in its importance to the world.
I think I have too many interests. And so when I was trying to pick what I was going to study in college, I thought, well, I'll study maybe political science or something that could change the world, or maybe I should try to understand people, study anthropology, our place in the universe, big questions of life. I took a geology class, and then I realized that really to understand the universe, and there's no closer place to go than our planet.
In this ice and in the sediment, there is a lot of carbon. When the permafrost is warming, a lot of that carbon is being released. And it's being released to the ocean when we are next to the coast, or it's being released directly to the atmosphere. There is actually twice as much carbon contained in permafrost as in the atmosphere. And we also know that erosion is increasing in the Arctic. So if we see these huge quantities of carbon in the permafrost, they will ultimately end up into the sea and have a much greater impact on the climate than we thought before. This lump is probably one of the most massive in the Arctic. The ice face is actually receding at rates of 10 to 13 meters per year, so this is actually quite important. And the amount of sediments that are being transported to the sea are equivalent to about 18 to 20 dump trucks full of sediment being delivered to the sea per day. Influences the climate also, and it gets warmer. And if the climate gets warmer, then we get more thawing of that active layer in the summer. And the more thawing we have, then the more carbon get activated. So this is what we call the feedback loop, because one process influences the other. And that goes on until probably all the carbon that is there stored in the permafrost is used to be released in the atmosphere.
Studying that emerging catastrophe is dangerous work. Thawing permafrost can swallow a person whole.
At the moment, where we are walking on, it's inactive, but where Uk is walking, this is more or less very active, and I would recommend you not to walk over there because you have to cross an active mud flow, and you usually just hop like a grasshopper from.
We stayed very shortly there. We just anchored up for a couple of hours.
Any comments on the experience? It's a magic place.
You film yourself. Okay. Very good, very good.
The one luxury Herschel offers scientists and explorers is its sauna, the only place for miles around where a body can get clean.
Herschel Island, a pretty place.
So how was your swim, Richard?
Yes, perfect. We visited with Libelul, far too short visits. I would have liked to spend more time there.
What a great place.
Thank you, Lillebøl. Libelul.
They set out in the choppy waters of the gathering autumn. They have 3,000 kilometers to sail and only 2 weeks before the sea freezes over once more.
It's quite cold on the boat, and when you wake up it's just a few degrees. Ah, no problem, no problem. I'm doing the diary. So Philip just entered my cabin here with a bucket in the case I would be seasick. That's very thoughtful, but no problem so far.